Good morning, everybody, and welcome back in to your favorite morning show on the internet. Yeah, that's right. It's your favorite. Wake Up and Ball, powered by BetUS. I'm Richie. He's TD, and we're back in our studios. TD's got a brand new setup that he's got to get all orchestrated with his brand new house. I'm back in New York. It's been a crazy last 2 weeks. And it is now officially the Super Bowl is done. It's officially the offseason. Super Bowl LIX is in the books. We're going to break down all we saw yesterday in the biggest game of the year. Wow, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for putting on a beatdown. Welcome to the show, TD. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Wake Up and Ball. We are back. I'm excited. Good times, man. The Super Bowl was amazing. We got a lot to talk about because it's not just the Super Bowl, but some things happen around the NFL, some trade requests, some people being notified they won't be returning, all that good stuff. We got to get into right here on Wake Up and Ball. Get up! Wake up. Let's go.
There's a lot to get into indeed, man. You would think that the Super Bowl ends and then we can get to take a little break, but no. Everything is just getting started. In terms of rumor, it's off-season season. You know, a lot of people are excited about the NFL draft season is now officially here. Free agency season. You know, that's what it's all about. Speculation, trades. Ooh, there's a lot. But folks, do us a gigantic favor by simply smashing the like button on your way into the show. Would mean a lot. Subscribe here to Roundtable Sports. We're growing close to 20,000 subscribers. So it would mean a lot to us, guys, if you can simply smash a like button and subscribe here to Roundtable Sports. TD, first and foremost, how was your Super Bowl Sunday, man? I know you were live streaming during the game. How did you enjoy your day yesterday? Because I feel like Super Bowl Sunday, it's like a holiday in a way, you know?
Yeah, somewhat. You know, I don't know why this year was kind of lackadaisical for me. But I was streaming the game and then I had to cut it off in the first quarter. You know, my daughter's been sick, so we wanted to get her to the hospital. But the wife had left me. I was getting ready I cut my stream off, getting ready to go to the hospital, and then all of a sudden the wife, I called like, "Where are you?" "Oh, I'm on my way to the hospital. Go back live." I'm like, I'll meet you there." "No, if you don't go live, I'm gonna have a problem." So I went ahead and went live right after that. So it was cool, man. I was just a relaxed day, honestly. Just, you know, streaming and just chilling, really.
Yeah, well, how's everything with your daughter? She's feeling better?
Yeah, she broke her fever, so that's good. You know, even this morning, checked on her, no more fever, which is amazing. And, you know, it's just, you know, making sure that it's an upper respiratory infection. So, you know, two of my kids have it right now, to be honest with you. But everybody's good. They're going to be fine. Just time, you know, medication, rest, time, hydration. That's all.
Yeah, man. Hopefully the bug get through the Dow household healthy. All right. That's what it's about. We appreciate you, bro. So please hit the like button if you didn't already, folks. Let's get into it. You know, my Super Bowl Sunday was fun. I was at a Super Bowl party with my friends, and it just felt, you know, underwhelming. I mean, bad game from the standpoint of entertainment. I mean, it was just a beatdown from the jump. And boy, oh boy, TD, we were both there all week leading into this game. Did you watch this game from a different perspective, that you were there covering it as media, being there for the press conferences, being there like for all the media events? Did you have a different type of mindset and perspective of the big game now that you were experiencing the Super Bowl week? Because me personally, I have a completely different perspective of the Super Bowl now. You know, usually I just look at it, it's a game, but no, it's not just a game. There's stuff that happens like 8 days prior to the game that I never knew existed until I lived through it. Wow, did New Orleans put on a show, man. It really, really was a fantastic time. Why don't you break down your overall thoughts before we get into the game, of course, of being in New Orleans for the Super Bowl media week?
I do have a different perspective, Richie. You know, it was really interesting seeing these guys every time they come off the field on the sideline, getting a break or talking to each other. I'm like, we were just there kicking it with them just like that close, talking to them and all. You know, it's definitely a different perspective. But yeah, man, the week leading up to, you know, you're just with all these guys, and you didn't think that the Chiefs would be moping around like they were last night. Right. You know, especially with the energy they had through the week in these pressers. But the Eagles, it just felt like natural. It felt like all week talking to them, they had a bounce to themselves. They had a confidence, and they were just, ready for business. So no, I'm not gonna say like it was like drastic, but I will say you could feel the difference.
Yeah, I mean the energy from both sides was just unbelievable. But I definitely
Yeah.
heading into the game, seeing how they brought New Orleans culture even into the broadcast was fun. Being in Radio Row, being at all the media events, it was a great time covering it for Roundtable Sports, and we're really fortunate to have all you guys support us on that journey in Roundtable Sports in terms of covering the Super Bowl. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of work though. I'm sure TD and Dan and Colby and myself can all agree. It was a lot of work, but feels good to be back home, right? Feels good to be back home and kind of rest. And yeah, now it's time for the off-season grind, right?
Listen, it was a lot of fun, but you're right, Richie. It was a lot of work. I'm still recovering. And plus, when I got back, we moved into our new home. So I'm still recovering. We still moving. So we'll get there. But yeah, it's you think you're gonna go have a good time and see all these stars, but it's work. You're going to get the job done. You're going to interview and ask questions. You're going to this meeting, that event, that event. Richie, we were constantly on the run. We were always, yeah. So wake up early, go to sleep late, and still couldn't get everything we wanted to get done. So it's a busy week. It's a lot, but it was worth it. I will say that it was worth it. It was a great experience, and now we know what to expect. So next year, 10 times better.
Absolutely, man. That was our rookie season, as I like to call it. It was our rookie season, right? That's how I like to refer to it. So let's get into the game now. Everybody in the chat, let us know your thoughts. Shout out to everybody tuning on in. We got Jets Forever in the house, Bills fan for life, Timmy Two Shoe, Super Dave, Delusional Pats fan, Nadine, JD the Great, of course, is in the house. Big Tizzle, all right. 2K God, shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Timmy Two Shoe, much love to everybody that has been chiming in to Roundtable Sports Network here on Wake Up and Ball. Does it feel good to be on Wake Up and Ball, man? It's been a minute. It's been what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a while, but you know what? We're back. I can't wait to pick up where we left off and, provide great, sports coverage around all leagues every single morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelt and make sure you wake up and ball with us going forward every morning. A little bit of a break, Super Bowl and everything, but we're back.
We are back, man. Let's get straight into it, man. The Super Bowl, disappointed from a competitive standpoint. The Philadelphia Eagles put on a beatdown. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. We felt like, I felt like the way the Eagles were going to win, if they did win, was Saquon. No, they won this game with defense. Mm-hmm. You talk about the funniest thing about this Eagles defense, TD, in my opinion, is that they paid Bryce Huff $51 million in the offseason, and the man is inactive. He's a healthy scratch, and they still pin their ears back and look like the best defensive line I've ever seen in my life. That's how good this roster is on defense. Vic Fangio, I know Jalen Hurts won MVP, but I think Vic Fangio deserves MVP, man, because that defense was on another level. They were getting pressure to Mahomes all day long. Mahomes was all over the place. He was making mistakes, and that defense from the Eagles was just ferocious. And on the offensive side of the ball, the Eagles were just controlling the clock. It was just a domination. You talk about the sport of football and controlling the clock, playing turnover-free football. I know Jalen Hurts had that red zone interception, but after that, it really did not matter. Just a fantastic day from the Philadelphia Eagles team, but more specifically their defense, man. It was really, really unbelievable stuff there. Red Hood with the super chat says, today a good day. Mahomes choked, Allen choked. Hate watching. Been so good this year. Red Hood, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes hater. Seems like he's a happy man today. Appreciate the super chat, Red Hood. Big time shout out to Red Hood. All right, TD. What was your overall takeaway from the game? What did you take away from it the most?
Philly is a complete team. When you really look at it, the Chiefs, I don't even have much to say about the Chiefs. They just laid an egg. But here's the deal, people need to stop. We're so used to the Chiefs being good that we act like they can't have a bad game. They had a bad game. They're actually a better team than they put out, but they had a bad game. You had guys dropping passes, critical passes. You had Mahomes making really bad decisions. And here's why I stand with it too, Richie, because I kind of look at this game different than a lot of people. A lot of people, they're saying certain things, but I kind of look at this game totally different from how everybody else is analyzing it. They say the O-line was bad. So what? They've been bad all year. You just didn't notice. You know why? Because Patrick Mahomes has been able to improvise and make plays off of the breakdown of the O-line. But last night, he didn't improvise well enough and make the plays. He made bad decisions on those improvisational plays. He threw into coverage and 2 picks on those improvisational plays. So when we want to, so yeah, the O-line, yeah, of course they weren't great, but they've survived regardless all year because Patrick Mahomes made better decisions with the football, even under pressure. Oh, well, he was under pressure on that. He was this and that. Hey, he's made those plays. So when he doesn't make those plays, you just sit back and you say, hey, he didn't make the best decisions. He didn't do the best thing on those. It's one game. Too bad it was the Super Bowl, okay? But on the other side of the football, defense did play lights out, right? But again, we're not going to sit here and act like the Chiefs didn't make a lot of mistakes too on the offensive side of the ball. Andy Reid was like, man, we're not even playing like us, But the Chiefs came out. They put pressure on Mahomes. They spied on Mahomes. They had that secondary lockdown with that free roamer, keeping their eyes on Mahomes. So when he improvises, they just follow where he's going. And I knew nobody on defense would win MVP, even though multiple guys had phenomenal games because too many guys had phenomenal games. But let me say this. I think people are watering down Jalen Hurts MVP. Oh, the defense was amazing. Jalen Hurts put up 27 points in that game without the circumstances. And what I mean by that is take away the pick six, take away the turnover on downs in their own territory. And I think it was 27 points that he still put up, if I'm not mistaken. Led his no. I'm sorry, no. It was 30. It was 30 that he led because the Eagles got a pick six and they also had a turnover downs on their own 40 and they end up going for a field goal or something like that. But outside of that, it was just raw offense driving down the field, driving down the length of the field. Okay, so I say all that to say this: Jalen Hurts was the most valuable player in that game, and here's why. I haven't heard a single person say this yet. The Chiefs shut down the run game. Jalen Hurts said, no, I'll make sure we have one. Most rushing yards by a quarterback in the Super Bowl in NFL history. Most rushing yards with 72 rushing yards by a quarterback in NFL history in a Super Bowl. Averages 6.5 yards per carry, Richie. Rush for 1 touchdown. And I don't want to make this about the Dolphins, but hear me out on this.
The Dolphins bringing up in a Super Bowl conversation. What are you doing, TD? Come on, man.
Trust me, I know.
I'll never bring up the Jets in a Super Bowl conversation. Maybe.
But it aggravated me yesterday looking on Twitter, right? Oh, this shows you if you get the trenches right, what Tua can do. Are you lying to yourself to say that?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they lying. If you had Philadelphia's O-line on Miami, because remember, the Chiefs still shut down the run game, right?
Yeah, they did.
So if you had the Eagles' O-line on Miami, you think Tua rushing 11 times for 72 yards and a touchdown? And remember, those 72 yards came in the heat of the game when we didn't say, oh, this is by far over. Those 72 yards came in mainly the first half, most of it. So I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, and Tua ain't rushed for a touchdown in 3 years. So miss me with that. If we had the Eagles O-line, you still would have needed Jalen Hurts to do what he did. Because if he did, look, Richie, do you remember one point of the game where Jalen Hurts, on 2 drives in a row, kept escaping on 3rd down, running for the 1st down?
Oh, yeah.
In Miami, that would be punts. And the Chiefs are in the game. This is the difference.
I think you bring up a good point because I feel like everyone's discrediting the job Jalen Hurts, the performance of Jalen Hurts last night, right? Like when I said the defense deserves MVP, that's just because I think that's the main reason why they won the game. But Jalen Hurts deserves his flowers. He deserves his respect. He had one mistake, and that was it. The rest of the game is flawless, okay? He bounced back from that mistake, 17 of 22. You saw him push the ball down the field. What'd you say?
You know the percentage of that?
I can find out 1 second.
I got a calculator.
I got it. It was 77% completion percentage.
And somebody in the chat got a nerve to say he was average as a passer. Are you kidding me?
17 of 22, 221 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rating of 119.7. I don't know what Jalen Hurts needs to do more than what he did. Let's do the math too, TD. He had 293 total yards, okay? 3 total touchdowns. I mean, come on. And by the way, this is a Bills fan. I guarantee you, TD, if Josh Allen put up these numbers, what are they saying? If Josh Allen put up these numbers in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. You know how I'd be picking on Josh Allen? They'd be like, if you think Josh Allen didn't have a great game, I can't listen to you anymore. Like, Josh Allen will have worse numbers than this, Richie, and they'll be capping for him. They'll be talking about how great it was.
And listen, and I can't look at that one interception and, like, say it's a bad thing because why, TD? He bounced back from it.
Yeah.
You need to be able to show resolve and be able to handle adversity. You can make a mistake in a football game, but the question is, how do you respond from it? Are you able to push through and be able to overcome the mistake? Was that a bad interception he had? Absolutely. Nick Bolton was in his face. He threw off his back foot, and Cook made a hell of a play on the ball to pick it off in the end zone, in the red zone. That was a phenomenal play. Bad play by Jalen Hurts. But then he is flawless from then on out. Flawless, protecting the football. When pressure did get in the pocket, he was stepping up in the pocket, checking it down underneath, being aggressive down the field, picking up yards with his legs. I think Jalen Hurts, and I've been saying it all season during the regular season, TD, that the Eagles and Jalen Hurts is the most underrated good team in the league. Like, it's not like no one's saying they're not good, but no one takes them seriously. It's time to take the Philadelphia Eagles seriously because they are the best team in football, and it's now official.
Bro, I don't even remember when he had incompletion. I can't even recall a play, to be honest with you. I just can't. I can't recall the play. And they might have been throwaways. Like, he plays so efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over. He did once in this game, but outside of that, and look at me. And another thing, everybody's like, yeah, but they had a great O-line. Ladies and gentlemen, the O-line couldn't neutralize the Chiefs' run defense. That's why Saquon couldn't run the ball, right? They made a concerted effort to make sure Saquon didn't get off, so the O-line wasn't great in run blocking. It wasn't Jalen Hurts escaping the pocket, Richie?
Yeah, but you got to admit this at least. I mean, I was watching this game, and I just couldn't stop realizing the difference of when Mahomes drops back to pass and when Jalen Hurts drops back to pass and the difference of time they had in the pocket, bro. Jalen Hurts was sitting back there flipping a burger. He had that much time. And then when the pressure got there is when he escaped. Mahomes drops back. There's less than 3 seconds. That's a fact. At least you can admit that.
No. That's why I disagree.
Bro, Mahomes drops back, and there was literally Joe Thuney, the left tackle, gets bulldozed into him. Jalen Hurts is sitting back there, and he picks up the first down with his legs after 5 seconds.
Richie, you're talking about with Mahomes 1 or 2 plays last night, right? But here's
1 or 2 plays?
No,
way more than 1 or 2 plays.
No, then go turn the film on. Do you know how many times last night, and I was saying it on my stream, Mahomes would drop back to pass. The pocket isn't massive, but it's a pocket. He would step up into his own sack. Like, Mahomes, stay still. Mahomes moved up in the pocket like 5 times last night when he didn't even have to. Go watch the film. You'll see. He would be back to pass, and then he'll try to take off like, oh, it's not there. Oh, I'm getting sacked. A lot of them were self-inflicted, Richie. Did he have a massive pocket where he had 5 feet in every direction? No.
Like Hurts did the whole night. That was my point.
Well, I'm not going to say
the difference of the pocket. That's all I was saying. The difference of the pockets was glaring. Jalen Hurts had 5 yards of separation between the pass rushers, where Mahomes had the interior pass rush coming in. And yeah, of course, he had some mistakes. I'm not saying Mahomes was perfect. He had mistakes, just like his offensive line had mistakes. All I'm saying is the difference of the trenches was massive between the defense, the Eagles pass rush compared to the Chiefs pass rush was wild. It was completely different. That's all I'm saying. Take the quarterback play out of it. But the offensive lines failed, and the defensive line, that's where this game was won, in my opinion, in the trenches, and the Eagles dominated.
I don't agree with the domination piece, though.
They dominated the game in the trenches.
No, they didn't. There were a lot of Richie. There were a lot of plays where, Jalen Hurts had a lot of room. Do you know how many times? And I'm not talking about after 5 seconds. Do you know how many times Jalen Hurts had to run towards the sideline and make a play? That happened at least 4 or 5 times in the game. I'm not talking about the back there for 5 seconds and taking off in the middle. I'm talking about running towards the sideline, finding Devontae Smith, running towards the sideline, finding A.J. Brown, finding Goddard on one. He had to escape as well. Now, they were still phenomenal last night.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't with pressure immediately. That was when the pressure got there eventually. That's my point. Mahomes drops back. There's pressure immediately, which forces him to scramble out of the pocket and him not make the plays.
I can go through that whole game watching the film. Mahomes probably had pressure immediately 3 times. The other times he created it himself trying to escape early. When he had a clean pocket,
how many times did you see his offensive line get holding penalties when he was escaping? How many times did you see him drop back? That second interception he threw, he literally got hit as he threw the football, which forced it down the middle of the field with Zach Baum picked it off. The first interception was when he was rolling out of the pocket and he threw it. Did not see Cooper DeJean. Bad throw on the run. And the second one was pressure immediately. His own tackle backed up into him.
And guess what? I don't care, Richie, because what y'all don't realize is I done watched almost every Mahomes game this year. That's been happening all year, but he made better decisions. He still made a play in those moments. But nobody talk about
Joe Thuney was never a liability at left tackle like that all season until last night.
I'm not talking about I'm okay. Joe Thuney makes one terrible play.
One terrible. He was terrible all game.
No.
Were we watching the same game, bro? The Philadelphia Eagles were like,
you weren't watching.
They were literally doing anything they wanted to. I mean, all I'm doing is giving the Eagles their flowers. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that was absolutely a phenomenal performance by the Philadelphia Eagles in the trenches. And they dominated the game and shut down the entire offense of the Chiefs.
They get their flowers, Richie, but once again, you ain't been watching Chiefs games this year.
Of course I have. We all have been. They're on primetime every other week.
Patrick Mahomes been having to improvise like that all season and throwing the ball while he get hit. He's been doing that all year.
Yeah, but not like that, dude. Are you kidding me? He did not have pressure like that, like he did last night all season in every single game. Are you kidding me? Their offensive line was not trash this season.
Okay, never. I think we're just splitting hairs here. The reason why I say that is because I am giving Philly their flowers. They were dominant in the trenches on both sides of the ball, but Patrick Mahomes didn't make it any easier on himself.
You're making it seem like Patrick Mahomes had the same amount of time in the pocket that Jalen Hurts did all season.
I never said that. I just see once again, Richie.
I said you're making it seem. I never said you said that. You're making it seem like that.
I'm actually not. I'm literally recognizing that Jalen Hurts had better protection last night. But the only point that I'm making that a lot of people don't realize, the Chiefs been going through that all year.
But no, they haven't. I disagree with that. They've never went up against the defense that dominated them like that all season.
Richie.
Dude, they've never had a game. Show me one regular season game this past season when they went up against a defense like the Eagles that literally pinned their ears back and dominated them in the trenches every single snap. You find that game and bring it to me, because they did not have that game all season long until the Super Bowl. Richie, that's my point. They were never dominated in the trenches like that all season until yesterday.
There are plenty games where that happened, Richie, and you just ain't been watching the game. Here's the difference. Let me finish this. Here's the difference. Patrick Mahomes gets hit, but he completes the football. Nobody think about the fact that he got hit and he was under pressure. Patrick Mahomes rolls out under pressure immediately, hits Travis Kelce. This game, Travis Kelce drops it, but the other game, he takes it down the field, so you don't think about it. This time, D-Hop on the sideline, that would have been a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it was the whole team discombobulated.
But that was under pressure. And if he would have caught it, nobody would have thought about it. That's the problem. Y'all don't think about it when it works. But when it don't work, you want to put the light on the problem. They've been having this all year. Patrick Mahomes and that team just been making plays out of it anyway. And you don't think about the pressure as long as they win and they making plays. If they win and they making plays, you don't even think about what they went through in the trenches. They've been struggling in that area for a while, Richie. I'm telling you, I sit there and I watch them all the time. And Patrick Mahomes, that's why I say he's a great improviser. But what did I also tell you weeks ago, Richie, and you laughed at me? Patrick Mahomes is not a great processor of the field like you think. He's an improviser. He makes plays. He's a gamer. But there is a flaw in his game with his processing of the field. But I get laughed at because the team they make it work anyway. I've been telling y'all this about Patrick Mahomes.
So, TD, how come I'm looking at stats that have the Chiefs the third best pass-protecting offensive line of football this season?
Okay, so they're the third best pass protecting. I am telling you, Richie.
All season.
They've been having problems like that all season. That means the rest of the league is that bad.
No, but I still don't get your point. You're making it seem like what happened yesterday was happening all season. I disagree with that completely. The Chiefs' offensive line has been pretty much the best in the league.
Richie,
third in the NFL in pass protection all season, and now
going to pass protection. What stats go into making them third?
Pressure percentage, sack pressure percentage, blitz percentage, time to sack. I mean, all these win rates. It's a win rate percentage. Offensive line pass blocking win rate. It was the third was 69%. The Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills 68%, Ravens. My point is the Chiefs. Offensive line was a big reason why they were successful this season. Their offensive line failed. Patrick Mahomes failed. The whole offense failed.
Patrick Mahomes also failed the O-line is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you are making it seem like this offensive line has been bad all season and Mahomes has been making plays because of it. That's so false. That is false, what you're trying to say. That's a narrative you're pushing that's literally incorrect.
What I'm telling you is Mahomes all season wasn't stepping to his own sacks like he was last night.
He was never getting pressure like that all season.
Oh, my gosh.
He never was. I think you're not realizing the domination the Eagles just put up.
What you don't realize is there was times he wasn't even under pressure where he would step up and create pressure.
Yeah, I know. That's when the Eagles was absolutely pinning their ears back and dominating, and that's when he got off his game.
He was panicking and freaking out.
Yeah, he was off his game because of the Eagles dominating him. And that's what I said. Mahomes is trash.
He wasn't doing that all season, Richie.
Because he's never had that much of a defensive masterpiece against him. That's my point.
Mahomes freaked out. He bummed it out for his team.
Yeah, of course he did. And he took accountability. The whole offense was failed. Patrick Mahomes failed. Offensive line failed. Travis Kelce failed. DeAndre Hopkins failed. There's nobody on that offense that you can say had a good game. Not one. There's not one. And that's why I'm saying the MVP in my eyes is Vic Fangio in that defense. That defensive line I've never seen get to the quarterback that consistently. Their win rate was flawless. They were getting back there in less than 3 seconds, while Jalen Hurts was sitting back there 5 seconds he had time to throw. That's where games are won, in the trenches. And the Philadelphia Eagles proved that you can build the team in the trenches and you win that way. And the fact that they were able to win without the run game offensively working shows you how good this football team is. That's all I'm saying, man. I feel like...
I agree. I actually agree with that, Richie. All I'm saying to you is I've seen games where they've had pressure the same way, but Mahomes didn't create the sacks. There are times where the pocket is tight and Mahomes will make the pass anyway. This game, he wouldn't do it. He would just run forward and get sacked anyway. He added to how bad the O-line was. That's all I'm saying.
Of course. You expect someone like that to elevate his game when the pressure's at its highest and the pass rush is getting there to make plays, and he wasn't able to do it. That's the reality of it. But my point is, I really don't think that this offensive line was that bad all regular season long. They were one of the greats. This is why they won how many games? 15 wins they had? It was because of their offensive line, and they failed, and so did Mahomes. Everybody failed. And I think it's time to give the credit to Jalen Hurts. I really, really do. I feel like he was the better quarterback in the game, and, and obviously context matters, but at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts, he proved that he can level up his performance against a really top-tier defense, and he picked apart that Spags defense.
Richie, this opens up a million conversations, by the way.
What's that?
Where is Jalen Hurts on a hierarchy now? Mahomes, what is he now? And where does he go from here? And by the way, don't you ever in your life mention this guy as potentially being the GOAT again. It ain't happening. It ain't even possible no more. How about that?
How about this though? What's Brady's record in his first 5 Super Bowls?
It don't matter. Brady's 73 all time. 73 all time.
Okay. What's Brady's record throughout his first 5 Super Bowls?
I'm gonna say he went to 10. What was it, 3-2 or what?
Yeah, 3-2. What's Mahomes' record first 5 Super Bowls?
3-2.
Yep.
Miss me with that, Richie.
Just saying.
You know why?
29 years old.
Let me tell you why.
It's a little more even than you think. I'm not predicting he's going to get better.
No, it's not. You know why? Let me tell you something. You know what Mahomes got on his resume that Brady never would have?
Brady beating him.
A blowout.
Brady has blowouts in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? You want to bring it up?
Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, Richie. In the Super Bowl.
He still got blown out in the playoffs.
And let me add another one. You were a major reason why y'all lost. You tell me when you remember Brady being the reason they lost. I remember Brady lost to Philly and put up 500 yards. Come on, Richie. It ain't even close. Stop the debate. Cut this crap. Don't die on this hill, brother. Just do this one right.
I just know there's so much time remaining that I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm not predicting it to happen, number one. I'm also not ready to just prematurely anoint anything. That's all I'm saying.
Well, first of all, Brady is the GOAT. But second,
right now, yes.
Yeah, this argument is man, stop. Mahomes is not, he'll never be Brady, Richie. He will never be Brady. After that, I ain't never seen Brady do that in no Super Bowl. I ain't never seen Brady play like that in the Super Bowl. This what I'm talking about. It reminds me of LeBron with Dallas. Never with Jordan, ever. See, y'all got to stop this, man. Y'all got to stop this blasphemy. It's all right. In another argument, Richie, that's why I say this brings up so many narratives. Josh Allen is more talented than Patrick Mahomes. That's why I be telling you. Josh Allen would have did better than that. By far.
Oh, my God. So now that game, now all of a sudden you're going back to your original take?
Listen, I always been on that take. Ain't nothing changed, Richie.
No, you changed it. You literally said the other day while we were at the Super Bowl that you came back on that take. So now you're going back. You know what you are? I don't know how we don't have a t-shirt of this yet. You're just the definition of flip-flopping, man. Whatever fits your narrative, whatever happens on the field, you flip-flop to prove yourself right. That's what you do every week.
That's been my narrative. I ain't never waver on that narrative. I've never wavered.
I'm still going to stand on my 10 toes and say Patrick Mahomes is better than Josh Allen. I do not care what anybody says. Until Josh Allen beats him in the playoffs, gets to a Super Bowl, does anything like Patrick Mahomes has. Congrats, he won an MVP. But what are we doing here?
Mahomes has a better career than Josh Allen. Yes, you're right. He's better in that sense. But
and Mahomes is still the better quarterback, more talented and everything.
He's not more talented. No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No.
100%.
Neither of them better than
Then how come you flipped around the other day?
I ain't flipped that. Listen,
how come Josh Allen can't beat him if he's more talented?
Stop it, Richie.
Mahomes played better than him when they faced off against each other in the AFC Championship game. And now this one Super Bowl game, like you said, every team has bad games. Mahomes has bad games. And now you're going to flip-flop and see it again?
Richie,
what the heck does Josh Allen do that makes you think he deserves to say that?
Remember, it's a team sport, Richie. The wins and losses, no, it's a team sport.
Exactly.
Yeah, but don't be the reason your team lose. Patrick Mahomes added to the reason his team lost.
At least he can win Super Bowl rings, go to the Super Bowl 5 times.
Hey,
I mean, it's not even close. I mean,
that's the past. He washed now.
See, I don't know if this is for entertainment purposes.
His washing started last night.
All right, now I know it's a troll.
You know what? He might not win another Super Bowl. I think Andy Reid and Travis Kelce gonna retire. It is a wrap. It's over.
Well, by the way, Travis Kelce should retire because he's done. What is Travis Kelce's future?
You know what, Richie?
He looked so bad and checked out, bro.
Something wrong because when he walked in that stadium with that outfit on, I said they losing. When he walked in, I said, they losing. They are losing. Travis Kelce.
What was the outfit?
Travis, I don't know. It was something he had on. It was just like so 70s or something. But this is how I look at it. Travis Kelce, you know what he looked like? He looked like a man that wanted to win the Super Bowl, and he was going to propose to his girl right after. But then he got cold feet. He was like, let me drop these passes. He looked like, man, oh my God. Travis Kelce was lost. He looked sick. He actually looked sick. Like he was weak in the body. Like he just looked like I think he looked sick. He actually looked sick. Like he was like down on like under the weather or something. And wasn't it a whole bunch of Philly players that were sick starting on Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter was not part of any media availability. I didn't see him anywhere, and I think that was because he was the one with the flu. But he did play, and he dominated. He was the one that was like the key of the entire defense for the Eagles. But, yeah, there was some sickness going around with Philadelphia.
There's something going on. Somebody said TD, who wasn't dropping passes, Xavier Worthy, same guy that the Bills passed on. That guy.
Xavier Worthy's a dog. I think next year is where he's going to break out to be like.
You see, when you attack deep, when the Chiefs never did that all year, but when you attack deep, he can split double coverage that's playing deep. He can still beat them. That kid got natural burners, man.
Well, the reason why Xavier Worthy was shut down in the first part of the game was why?
Vic Fangio.
Well, I watched when they zoomed out and you saw like the all 22 perspective. You saw Xavier Worthy get wide open right when Mahomes gets sacked because because Xavier Worthy needs time for the play to develop down the field. Yeah, and that was a big issue. That's where the trenches is a big issue. If you can't protect and give that extra second for Mahomes, he can't get the ball out to Xavier Worthy. I saw Xavier Worthy get freed wide open. I'm like, oh, wow. If they just held up at that and those specific plays, you saw the Eagles just offensive line getting bulldozed. The Eagles dominated this game.
The reason why I just don't care and don't want to hear about Mahomes needing another second, because he's built his name, his greatness off of creating the additional second. That's the only reason I could care less. That's who he is. That's who he's been showered for. Like that's what made Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to tell you, there were too many times he stepped up in that pocket when he didn't need to and created his own sack. And yeah, that O-line was terrible.
Yeah, that was certain plays, but now I'm bringing up other plays that are separate from those that had nothing to do with him stepping up. It was sitting back there. Xavier Worthy gets freed up when his tackle gets murdered, and he goes out there and sacks him. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
But Richie, he was also making terrible reads in the game. Do you remember that third down play where the Chiefs guy cut under the route and batted it down on the outside route, the out route on the outside?
You mean the Eagles guy?
Yeah, the Eagles guy. You remember that play, fourth down or whatever? Yeah, they went for it on fourth down. And, man, he had Watson wide open. He had Watson on the same side, too.
Well, he was also that was the right read because that was the play, but it was a bad throw.
No, I didn't think it was a bad throw. It was right there in the numbers. The guy just went in and got his hand on it. But Watson was wide open.
Brady broke it down. I remember that game. I remember that play specifically, and Brady had a good point there. That's when the pressure has now gotten to his brain where Mahomes feels like he has to get rid of the ball faster than he needs to. He didn't have the pressure in that time. He had time in the pocket for that play, but he felt like he doesn't trust his line anymore. He doesn't trust it, so he has to get rid of it too fast. He didn't even have his hands on the laces, and he gets rid of it too fast, doesn't put it out too outside the numbers. Incompletion. That's when the defense wins, when you're inside the brain of the quarterback.
Wow, we're having this conversation about Patrick Mahomes, ladies and gentlemen, not trusting his O-line when he's made a living off of his improvisation. Nobody cares about his O-line. The man won a Super Bowl with two bum tackles, left and right tackle, under pressure every play, still killing the defense, getting hit, still killing the defense. Won a Super Bowl.
You remember what happened the first
last night?
Remember the Super Bowl where he lost? The other Super Bowl loss he had? Same exact thing happened.
The Tampa
Bay's defensive front was a nightmare, and he had no answer.
Because he folded.
I know, just like in this game. That's what I'm saying. When his defense, when the opposition defensive line pins their ears back like that in the Super Bowl, he's just proven not be able to handle the pressure.
And maybe he ain't as great as we all thought.
Compared to what?
compared to how we've been lifting him on this mountain with Brady. He ain't as good as he. I mean, he's still topping one of the top 3 in the NFL. But maybe we need. Hey, he's like those games. He showed human characteristics. He wasn't a Superman that makes wonders happen like we all used to.
Glenn with the $5. The difference in the game was Philly was able to get to Mahomes with 4 rushers. Chiefs had to send more than 4, and that is very true. The Eagles did not blitz. That is unbelievable. They just sent 4. That shows you Vic Fangio. And they crowded line of scrimmage. They bailed. The Chiefs were sending blitzes, and Hurts took advantage of it. Just a phenomenal play design and scheme by the Philadelphia Eagles defensively. When you're able to get home with 4, it's a wrap. It's an absolute wrap.
But, Rich, you know the real issue in this game for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
They couldn't have that classical, pound the rock on occasions. Pacheco getting 6 yards, and you know what I mean? They couldn't run the ball to give them the balance
from all accounts.
Yeah.
They couldn't run the ball, which sets up Mahomes' play action. Everything was messed up. Red Hood, Dolphins are the softest team I've ever seen. It might be worse than the Giants giving Saquon away. Talking about Vic Fangio, it seems.
You know what's funny, too? And this is why Sirianni deserves a lot of credit. Vic Fangio was on the Dolphins last year and said, let me get out of here. They don't want to win. Kellen Moore was on the Cowboys, and they said the same thing. They got rid of him pretty much. And both of them guys won a Super Bowl. See, this is what I be talking about when you want to blame coordinators. You want to blame coaches for the things that's going wrong when these players not even executing what the coach is delivering, meaning you got the wrong players in a lot of cases. Both of these guys. And Dallas got to be sick because they wanted to keep McCarthy last year and they needed a scapegoat, and he was one of them. So, and now this man calling offense in the Super Bowl and winning? Come on, man. And what's up with that Saints job?
Kellen Moore is going to get it.
Yeah, sure. And he deserves it. Going from moving on from the Cowboys to winning a Super Bowl and getting a head coach job. Make it make sense. These owners and GMs, they getting exposed out here, but nobody holding them accountable for the bad decisions.
I also want to bring up a narrative that may get brother some feathers, but hey, I don't care. You know what crowd last night proved? It's going to upset a certain crowd in the NFL. That the NFL's rigged.
So a crowd proved
the crowd that says the NFL's rigged, in my opinion, was proven wrong last night. How many penalties did you see go against the Chiefs that, in my opinion, was not? I mean, that hands to the face was brutal, and it both sides, right? It started off the game with a bad call against the Eagles with that offensive pass interference. Didn't agree with that. But how many penalties did you see called on the Chiefs that was not a penalty? Why? Because the refs suck, and it's balanced. If it was rigged, they would have been doing it all for the other team. That's my point. The people that keep saying the NFL is rigged, stop it. Stop it. It's not rigged. It never has been rigged. You think it's rigged, TD?
No,
you still think that?
No. First of all, I never said it was rigged.
It never was.
It's not a steal. But hold on, Richie. Hold on. I got to play devil's advocate here now. I don't think the NFL has ever been rigged. Let's get that straight. But if it was, Richie, last night actually doesn't tell you that you're wrong, it's rigged. It would make you think it's rigged even more because remember, what's the purpose of rigging a game? What's the purpose?
No. The narrative is it's rigged for the Chiefs. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, well,
that's the narrative, not rigged in general. Everyone's discrediting the season the Chiefs has been having, and they have 2 Super Bowl rings because of the refs. And my point here, TD, and like when it comes from Chiefs players, they're sitting there, and even the media fed into the narrative that the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl because of the referees, and I could not disagree more with that. And that's my point. If the referees had any say in this game, it would have went completely different last night.
Yeah, I agree.
How many calls was going against the Chiefs where you're looking at? I was looking at it like, oh, is anyone gonna whine about that call? That is totally a bad, terrible play, terrible flag in the favor of the Eagles.
It started out rough though, Richie. The first penalty.
Yeah, that's my point. It's flags are both sides.
No, I'm saying at first you would think that, oh, here we go with the crap. Remember that A.J. Brown offensive back?
I know, and I mentioned that.
And it was like, oh, they finna cheat. But then it was all downhill from the Chiefs from there. They got everything called on them.
And that's my point, that it has never been a bias or rig towards the Chiefs. I could not disagree more. For all the people that say the reason why the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl in the first place, the reason why they have 3 Super Bowl rings is because the refs are on their side. I couldn't disagree more.
But I've heard people say it's rigged for the Chiefs, but not really for the Chiefs, for Mahomes to be the MJ of the league. Because every league needs one, right?
And you realize that is just a narrative that fans create because they hate him to try to hurt his name. Do you see that? Do you see through the politics of that, the propaganda? I don't know if you can see through it because it is so obvious that people try to drive a narrative to hurt his name. Like, I hope you see it.
I do, Richie, but
they don't fall to the narrative that people try to spew nonsense.
But I don't know, Richie. I mean, I could see why they think that, though. Just because they called calls against the Chiefs last night, they've already done their job by just getting them there. No matter what happened.
Oh, my God, you're feeding into it, too?
No. I know it's not rigged, but if I was to believe it's rigged, last night don't change it for me. You did your job to get him there. You don't owe him to give him the ring, but you got him there.
What would the narrative be if the Chiefs won yesterday? Rigged. Oh, the refs did it for them. Discrediting the three-peat. You know it.
With everything the Eagles did, if the Chiefs would have won, we would have stopped watching football.
But that's my point. No matter what the Chiefs do, they will discredit them by the referees. But when the refs completely call everything on them and have bad calls that favor the Eagles, nobody talks about it. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying. Nobody brings up. I was watching the game and there was an awful call. What was it? It was when the Chiefs were still in it at one point. It was like a 3-possession game, 17-0, and they had a big first down. I think it was Mahomes scrambled. I forgot what it was exactly. And they had this bogus call. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, nobody online, nobody's going to whine about this bad call because it favors the Eagles. But if it was flipped around, oh, my God, the media would have been whining and crying and just – that's my point. It's not consistent on both sides. There's bad calls throughout every NFL game.
But the team that wins has always been hated. So we know where that's coming from. You know, they don't like the Chiefs. They don't like Mahomes. And whenever some phantom calls go their way, it just makes you even more want them to lose. So, yeah, listen, the NFL is not rigged. It's not rigged.
It's never have been. It's never been biased. And when are people going to wake up to the idea that we have an NFL refs problem and it's not favoring anybody intentionally? I just hate the narrative that people think that this is an intentional thing, that the refs are doing something to change, to like take away the authenticity of the game, of the sport.
And let me say this too. What are the biggest football markets? Give me your top 2 football markets.
New York, who sucks,
and Dallas. Would you agree or no?
Yeah, for sure. Dallas. I mean, media market, NFL, LA.
If the NFL was rigged, you'll see both of those teams at least in a championship round every year. Both of them trash. Okay? So the league, you care less about, making things fortunate for the betterment of the league. I know it's not rigged, but I get why a lot of people be feeling that way. But no, and then
I don't get why people be feeling that way. I don't look at this propaganda and fall to it, man. I see right through the narratives that people are trying to spew. I see right through it.
I get it. Like it's not rigged. Let's just keep it at that. But here's what I will say: it doesn't matter if it's rigged or not for the Chiefs anymore because that dynasty is over. It was short-lived. It's over. It's over, Richie.
Well, people are calling out that Richie calls it Patriots cheats, but didn't they get caught for cheating? Isn't that a little different?
Yeah, and that's even
the Patriots themselves cheat. The Chiefs never got caught for cheating. That's a big difference.
Yeah, and no matter how Patriots much don't get rigged, they're not doing anything to rig it.
The Patriots themselves cheated.
Yeah.
That's different. The Chiefs themselves didn't cheat. The narrative is the refs are helping the Chiefs do it, which was never the case, never have been. You can keep convincing yourself that of the reality of the reason why the Chiefs are, in the Super Bowl 5 times and they're 3-2 in the Super Bowls because of the refs. Good for you if that helps you cope with that reality. But the Patriots is a different conversation. They literally got caught. Right hand, deflating balls. Bill Belichick going scouting other teams. Like, come on. That they literally got caught by the NFL. That's a completely different conversation. Red Hood with the $10. Richie, why do you think we call them frauds? They got lucky all year. Broncos literally did the same thing, but they don't have the offense. Defense been carrying them. So that's another thing I'm wondering. Does this Super Bowl take away their season now? Getting to the Super Bowl. AFC champions.
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who cares about this season? Who cares about the whole AFC?
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm asking from a outside perspective.
Yeah, it takes away from their season. It was all for nothing. You've done that.
How come the Bills couldn't beat them then? That's a good question.
Yeah, the Bills couldn't beat them because the Bills even had. I mean, the Bills.
If the Chiefs are that much of frauds, why couldn't the Bills beat them?
But this was always my point about that, Richie. The Bills are worried about the Chiefs, but they're not equipped to beat Baltimore. They're not equipped to
beat Baltimore.
I mean, they're not. Well, I mean, they still, in my opinion, not equipped to beat Baltimore.
They beat Baltimore. Okay, relax.
Baltimore beat themselves.
The Bills beat the Ravens in the playoffs. They deserve their flowers for that.
Is there ever a game where you feel like a team beat themselves? Is there ever a game where you feel? Is that not what Baltimore did? You act like Buffalo really had all right.
Well, the Bills still beat them. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they beat them, but that's all I'm saying. They focus so much on the Chiefs though, and still lost, which is crazy. But that was their main focus. Anytime you talk to Buffalo before the season started, who was their only concern? You think Buffalo would have beat the Eagles? They would have played better than the Chiefs in that game from a matchup standpoint. But they wouldn't have beat the Eagles. And to be quite honest with you, it's only one team in the NFL, in my opinion, that would have matched up with the Eagles in that game and still would have lost, I believe. And that's Baltimore.
Do you think the Bills lose against the Eagles if they beat the Chiefs?
Yeah. They lose against the Eagles. The only team that would have matched up well was Baltimore, and they still might have lost in a thriller. That would have been a good game, Richie.
Yeah,
that would have been a good game.
I feel like we have to start putting more respect on the Eagles. And Nick Sirianni.
For sure.
Glenn with the $5. Need to post the new tiers for Roundtable. For some reason, my tier level got reset to $4.99. Yeah, that's Dan Mitchell's department. We got to figure out the whole Patreon situation. So we're thinking of adding a new tier for you, Glenn.
We already did.
Yeah, but he said his got reset to $4.99.
I think you just need to cancel it and go back in for the other one. I think that's what it is.
Maybe you got to cancel it and redo and reselect your tier. So I think that's really what we have to do, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so, at least.
Jordan with a $10. It proved the Chiefs should not have been there without the bad calls in earlier games. See, this is... People can't just accept the reality that the Chiefs got there by playing football. But no, they got there because of the refs. I mean, if that feeds your narrative of just you cope with the idea that they beat the Bills and they need the refs, I mean, come on. Give me a break. I couldn't disagree with this more. Still in eye down, 3 positions, LOL. Stop talking. What does that mean?
Still in 1 down, 3 position. I don't know, next.
Habitual line stepper, $5. It's scripted. It's all about ratings. You bet on the matchup. The last 5 have been given to us by the media. Tom Brady without Bill, Kelsey Ball, SoFi. So Ravens fan thinks it's all about ratings and it's all scripted.
No.
I just can't.
It's not.
I just can't buy into that narrative, bro. I just can't. Andy, Chiefs media, shut up and hop off Mahomes' balls. Oh, wow. Andy, does Mahomes still haunt you at night? The fact that you just can't beat him? As much of a fraud you think he is, how bad you think the Chiefs are, It's just, you just can't beat them. That sucks for you. Congrats on MVP, though. Ravens would have won, but they got to get there in order to win. TD?
Yeah, that's a fact.
They got to get there in order to win, and they were unable to. I thought this was the Ravens' year to get to the Super Bowl, man. I really, really did. Not the case, though. Not the case.
Yeah, I had them this year. I had them going too. Listen, man, it just told me my team is far away. But you know what? Hopefully we make some moves this offseason and get us in the big game.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of the big game, let's look at the early bets to go to Super Bowl LX. All right? Super Bowl LX odds on BetUS Sportsbook is live. If you guys want to take advantage of the 150% bonus on BetUS, make sure you take advantage of that. All right? Use the code YouTube150 when you sign up today to get 150% bonus on your first deposit. 125% on your next two. That's up to $2,000. All right. Much love to BetUS. The Chiefs and the Eagles both have the first better odds to go back to the Super Bowl. All right. The Ravens and the Bills have the same odds at plus 700. Oh, no, excuse me. That's the Bills. 700. Lions plus 1,000. TD, your early Super Bowl LX matchup.
Early matchup, I'm going to go Baltimore gets it this time because they get a second year under with more chemistry. A lot of people underrate that as well. A new year with more chemistry with that unit because the Chiefs going downhill from here. In Buffalo, they don't even have a solution to get over the hump. And then in the NFC, why wouldn't you go back to Philly? You gotta say Philly again. So
yeah, I feel like they're gonna be the same team next year, if not better.
Yeah, I got the proper matchup: Baltimore versus Philly next year.
And how many times have I heard the Chiefs are downhill from here? Just saying.
Chiefs won't even win their division next year. The Chargers will.
Okay, heard that one before. Red Hood with the $5. It's not scripted, but there has always been favoritism. I still think that's a narrative. I just don't buy into the favoritism. I don't buy into the ref bias. I just don't believe in any of that. And maybe I'm the only NFL fan in the world that has to believe in this. I don't care if people keep disagreeing with me. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any favoritism in the league. I really just think it's just calls that happen, and it feeds a narrative. Bad calls happen.
And people also need to understand the superstar calls too. Mahomes is a guy who's going to get the benefit of the doubt because he's earned it in this league. Just like Josh Allen gets it sometimes. Guys get favored things that go their way because they've earned it. So when you got a great player like Mahomes, things may tend to favor you a little bit more. But overall, I don't see a widespread of just we got to give it to him anyway or anything like that. So I don't think it's rigged. I think it's a good competitive game, and the NFL has a good brand, a good product.
You sure you're telling me it's not rigged, TD?
I said it's not rigged.
I mean, Tuck rule, I can go on. Then go on. Let's hear it. Well, we do have other exciting news, folks. We do have other exciting news here on Roundtable Sports. Our new Patreon is live, folks. I put the link in the chat if you guys want to check it out. The Patreon is now here. All right. Shout out to the brand new Roundtable Sports Patreon. If you guys want to become a member of it, make sure you guys click the link in the chat and sign up today. You can become a Practice Squad member for $3 a month, which will give you a shout-out on your favorite Roundtable Sports show, access to our private Discord, which has been very active during the Super Bowl, man. I don't know if you're on the Discord, TD, but very active in our Discord chat. We got a chat for each division, trash talk chat. Oh, it's a lot of fun over there. You also get private, community stuff, the starter pack, everything from the previous years, and you also get access to our new, that is in the works right now, exclusive film room videos from college prospects into the NFL. We're launching a whole new film room breakdown for Roundtable Sports. The Pro Bowler package brings you everything, including Your name will be featured during the end credits for every episode on every Roundtable Sports show. Access to a standard private Q&A Discord channel. So we'll be doing more Q&A segments as well from the $10 segment. The $25 is the all pro. You receive everything plus 10% off Roundtable Sports merch. You get a monthly Zoom call with all of us for an hour. So you can chop it up with TD, myself, Dan, whoever you want on the Roundtable Sports crew. Our exclusive game picks, access to voice message channel on Discord. So you basically can leave a voicemail for our Roundtable Sports show. So we'll listen to some voicemails. And then our final tier is the Hall of Famer. And that is a $50 a month, which is an ability to call in. All right, the call-in show is back. All right, everyone was whining, so Dan's like, all right, we'll make it a $50 tier for those that want to call in. All right, that's what it's all about. So shout out to the Patreon and all the members. We appreciate you guys big time. The link is in the chat, folks.
Yeah, I'm excited about that film study, man. That's going to be dope moving forward on the Patreon.
Absolutely, brother, absolutely. Last super chat, Andy says, Josh Allen haunts the AFC East dreams, so eat that. Yeah, man, Josh Allen can win the AFC East 5 straight times. He can win the MVP, but he still can't get to a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but they're done too. They're done.
Like, congrats on owning the division with bad teams, but at least do something with it.
They're done, Richie.
Glenn just became a Hall of Fame member. Glenn.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Glenn, man. He is going to be the only caller. Let's go. Glenn, we appreciate you, brother.
I'm glad so he can torture y'all, Richie. Y'all some haters, man.
Who,
Glenn be setting y'all straight.
I could take Glenn. You kidding me?
No, Glenn be setting y'all straight. Glenn be calling me out too whenever I'm slipping.
Oh, man. Glenn keeps the receipts, dude. If there's anybody that keeps the receipts more, it's Glenn. And Glenn, we were thinking about making this your own tier, the Glenn tier.
Yeah, man.
You're the Hall of Famer. How about that? Thank you so much, Glenn. We appreciate you, brother, for supporting us. It means a lot. It really does mean a lot. But heck of a show. It feels good to have Wake Up and Ball back. Trying to get back to feels good to have Wake Up and Ball back, TD. Really does.
Tomorrow, though, Richie, don't think we're going to slide on this Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, man. I wanted this to be the Super Bowl breakdown. We have all offseason to talk about that type of stuff. I mean, you talk about Aaron Rodgers is apparently out of the New York Jets. You talk about Devontae Adams apparently out. You talk about Cooper Kupp demanding a trade. Myles Garrett demanding a trade. Deebo Samuel. There's so much. But, TD, we had to focus on the Super Bowl. It's the biggest game of the year. We're going to have those topics for tomorrow and also get more into the NBA, get more into baseball, which is right around the corner as well. So a lot of fun things happening here on Wake Up and Ball. Anything you want to say to the people before we wrap things up?
No, thanks for rocking with us on our comeback show. But hey, let's continue to build bigger and better. We love y'all. Let's get to 20K subs, and we'll do that over the summer. I think we really can. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all soon. Thank you for waking up and balling.
Absolutely. Thank you to JD the Great, and we appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing us here on Roundtable Sports. It's been a heck of a journey, and you guys are a big reason for it. Thank you to all the members, and thank you to the 13 super chats that we got in today. This show is being powered by BetUS. Shout out to BetUS for powering the show. Thank you to Miss Finns, Hennessy. We appreciate all Bills Mafia as well. We love you. We love you. We love you. Wake Up a Ball's back all off season long, and we'll see you guys next time. All right?
Peace.
Take care, and we'll see you on the huddle later.